What if you could change anything about yourself? What would it be? Is that even possible? Yes, it is possible. And today I'm going to tell you how. Hello, hello, hello. You are listening to or watching the Manifesto on Purpose show. I am the host of this show, Kimberly. I am here to elevate you to a higher state of consciousness. I am here to help you manifest on purpose. Thank you so much for being here today, sharing your time and energy with me today. Thank you for all of those you've invited to join the party. And thank you for subscribing here and on the website at Kimberly.com. That's KIMBALEY.com. The God in me loves the God in you. Today, we're going to talk about the mindset reset. Yes, it is possible for you to change your mindset and for you to begin to align with the things that you really want to manifest in your life. And I'm going to tell you how, but before we get into that, let's hear our astronumerology forecast today, courtesy of astronumerologist Lloyd Strayhorn and the Star 8 mobile numerology app. It is Monday, November the 18th. The sun is in Scorpio. The moon is in Cancer. It's a one universal month, a four universal week, a one universal day. There is no limit to the possibilities of what you can accomplish by way of a goal, objective, or intention if you approach this day with the right mindset. Like the placebo effect mixed with the dose of the imagination. If you can act and conduct yourself as if you already have it, then nature will take its course and you will. However, if for whatever reason you can't or refuse to believe in the higher laws of attraction and the magnetic power of the mind, then what can you say? Leo, Aquarius, Cancer, and those born on the 1st, the 4th, the 10th, the 13th, the 19th, the 22nd, the 28th, and the 31st of the month are the best ones to demonstrate the possibilities. Wow, that forecast is amazing and is right in alignment with today's conversation. Once again, that is the astronumerology forecast for today, courtesy of astronumerologist Lloyd Strayhorn and the Star 8 mobile numerology app. You can get your forecast every day. Just download the app. Go to astar8.com, ASTAR, the number 8.com. You can also get it on Google Play or the App Store and on linktr.ee/numbersanyou. 2025 is right around the corner and it's going to be a transformative year. It's the year of the nine. You need to have your ducks in a row. Make sure that you properly plan for this transformative year by having your astronumerology forecast for the year. And you can get that on Kimberly, KIMBALEY.com. And you can also get your personal report, your compatibility report, your business report, and you can get deep down into the weeds of who you are and find out what your purpose is in life by getting your astronumerology consultation also at Kimberly.com. Speaking of 2025, Please join me on January the 1st, 2025. That's on a Wednesday for the Vision Board Mastery to manifest your 2025 on purpose. You will learn the power of visualization and learn some visualization tips and techniques, including how to create a vision board, and you will create your very own vision board. And we will have an interactive share so that you can speak your dreams into existence, and a guided visualization in conclusion so that you can plant those seeds in the fertile soil of 2025. Just click on the QR code at the bottom of the flyer, or you can also go to Kimberly.com. Now, let's get into today's story. Today, I'm kind of reminiscent on back in the day, back in the 80s, and maybe even I want to say the early 90s, where Hollywood was always showing things that seemed to be futuristic to us. Things like robots and drones and the stuff that we never thought would ever exist. I think with the robots, the only robot I kind of liked during that time was on the cartoon, The Jetsons. And if you don't know about The Jetsons, it was about this futuristic family, and they were flying around in drones and living in these high rise type of buildings. And it just made it like it was very futuristic. Well, the Jetsons had a robot, and I think the robot's name was Rosie, but I kind of like Rosie. She was the only robot that I liked because she kind of seemed like a friendly robot. But this thing about robots didn't stop there. They continue. I ran into my very first version of a robot in 2014. This was on my job. There was a robot that actually was set up to take medication and supplies to different floors in the hospital. It would take the elevators, it would go down to the hall, and it would get to the department that it had to drop off the supplies to, and it would just wait there. And the person that ordered the supplies would get a signal for them to go out and check the box, and they could get into the box and get the supplies that they needed. And the robot just knew to go back to home base. One time it actually got stuck at the entrance of our department, and somebody had to come up from maintenance to actually repair the robot. And they kind of like reprogrammed it so that the robot would go back to home base. But now, the more and more I think about this robot thing, even during the 80s and the early 90s, when it seemed like to be something so futuristic, I didn't know that, it was not something futuristic. It was something that was already happening. In fact, all of us can be robots. And let me explain to you why. Because these robots are really computers, and they just run off the commands or the data that is given to them by the ones who created the computer or the ones that are running the computer. Sounds like we all are robots because we have that same functioning within us. When we think about our subconscious mind takes in the data from our environment, our programming, and it responds according to the data it receives. And according to that data, that is what we manifest in our lives. So let's take a look at how that works from a human experience. You create an intention, and you share that intention with your subconscious mind. And when you share this intention, you're going to include your emotions, and you're going to include passion. You're going to include everything to make this things seem real as if it's already yours. The subconscious mind receives the data. And as you continue to feed the subconscious mind the same information over and over again, the subconscious mind will create a pattern of that. And then it goes to the brain. The brain is the processing center. The brain is working its magic to make this thing play out in reality. So, what happens in the case, just like how the robot came up and got stuck at our door, we had to call maintenance up. What happens when we get stuck like that? When we get stuck like that, it causes us a lot of times to manifest on default because the subconscious mind is going to continue to create what you have already fed it, whether it was intentional or non intentional. So when you feel like you're aligning with manifestations that are not intentional, these manifestations that are not the things that you want to create in your life, then you have the chance to call in maintenance and change it. It's time at that point for a mindset reset. And this is how you're going to do it. Now that you know how things enter into the subconscious mind and what you need to do to begin to program the things that you want to do, that's what you begin to do. You fall on those things that you really want as your intentions. I have a course coming up on that because a lot of people really don't get the meaning of what an intention is and how to set intentions properly. But what you will do to reset your mind is to begin inserting things that align with your intention. Let's just say, for example, you are setting an intention for love. If you're setting an intention for love, first of all, you need to raise your vibration to a vibration that speaks love. You need to surround yourself with loving things. That could be the environment you're in, that could be the type of music you're listening to, the type of people that you talk to. You need to make sure that that is going on around you at all times. And you yourself need to be loving of others. And when you set this intention, you need to set it with your whole heart. You need to be passionate about it, expressing that love. When you express intent of the love that you want to enter into your life. And this is not just a one-time thing, because a program is something that happens on a repetitive basis. Think about the programming on television. Television programming lasts for series at times. You don't see a television program that comes on for one episode. They call that a pilot. I'm talking about episode after episode after episode. That's considered a program. So in the morning when you wake up, you need to be in that loving energy. And when you go to bed at night, you need to be in that loving energy. And all throughout the day, you need to be in that loving energy. You should be in that energy so strongly that the subconscious mind believes that it is already happening to you. And in order for that to happen, you have to start believing it for yourself. You know how sometimes people can say that they lie so much that they start believing their own lie? Well, you need to get in that loving energy so much that you believe it for yourself. And while you're doing that, you need to make sure that you're in meditation. You need to make sure that you're taking out time for self. And whenever there are times when you feel the opposite of what you should be feeling, don't think that that's wrong. It may happen because whenever you try to change a habit, There's always going to be something that pops up that reminds you of that habit that's there, but you need to be as persistent as the negative part of that habit. So that means that if that habit of you being an unloving person, if that's what you have been, and this is just an example, I'm not saying that you're unloving, but I want you to get the gist of what I'm trying to say. But if you have not been as loving and compassionate as you could have been, and that pops back up in your reality, you need to, at that moment, wipe that away and begin going in with your positive affirmations that say something different. Change up the scene, change up your thoughts, switch the environment, and do things different than what you have been doing. Because if you continue to do the same things that you were doing before you were working on aligning with this manifestation, it's going to take you back to those old habits. So switch up the way you do things so that you can kind of keep a handle on your thoughts, your beliefs. And that's another thing that you need to take a look at too, your belief system. What over the years were you programmed to believe about love, whether it was something that you have been through as an experience or whether it was something that you grew up seeing. And you need to let yourself know that everything is okay and it is okay for you to love. So, yes, you can change your mind. You can reset your mind, change the way you look at the world. When you change the things you look at, the things you look at begin to change. That's Wayne Dyer. So get a new story about yourself, get a new story about your life, and get a new belief about that thing that you are aligning to manifest. Robots once seemed so fascinating to me until I learned the truth about robots. Robots weren't a futuristic thing, it was something that was happening within all of us, our subconscious mind. Those robots are programmed with information to accept the commands that it is given. It's the same thing with the subconscious mind. It just depends on the commands that you are giving it, whether it be intentionally or non intentionally. You get to change your subconscious programming simply by having a mindset reset. Do an analysis on your belief system, your values, what you're thinking, your environment, and determine what you are aligning with that you no longer want to be aligned with. And once you discover what that is, find a way to replace it. And the way to replace it is through your intentions. Take those intentions that you set and align those things up so that you can begin creating a new program. There's so many ways that you can do it. You can do it this way, which is a more manual way. You can do it through meditation. You can do it through audio videos. You can get hypnosis. There's so many ways to reprogram your mind that it makes no sense to be stuck. If you could change your mind right now to be anything that you want to be or to do anything that you want to do, what would it be? Now that you know what it would be, go out and do it. Have a mindset reset. I love you to life. This is how you manifest on purpose.